heavy and completely new horror stories. Get ready for horror tales that expose what the malevolent beings from our reality do to us. Discover monsters and macabre stories inspired by you, the viewer, bringing you face to face with your emotions, fears, and inner demons. Horror is going back to its roots, but with a fresh twist, exposing all our weaknesses through the most cunning and tempting villains. To convince you it's worth subscribing to this channel, I've prepared a list of the next 10 projects that will be released exclusively here. We'll start with the simpler ones and end with the most terrifying sagas this channel will create. I'm the writer, and I want to be with you during your commute, on the bus, at lunch, or right before bed, narrating the stories that will send chills down your spine. No more delays. Here's the list. Number 10. My Brother Devours Women. Women are found chewed up in alleys and your brother is to blame. Here you'll meet a girl who discovers her brother is behind the wave of brutal murders of women found partially eaten. Her brother is gaining muscle without working out, eating raw meat, and displaying an uncontrollable aggression. No, he's not a werewolf. He's a completely new kind of monster created by me, part of a world filled with unique creatures tied to a specific theme. This world is connected to a certain saga included on this list. If you don't subscribe, you'll miss out on this exciting and terrifying new creation. Number 9. The Macabre Epidemic. A bizarre epidemic with symptoms you probably already have. A virus begins to spread across Earth, causing people to develop strange, unexplainable symptoms. But it gets worse. This disease has a unique feature. It turns all infected into slaves, controlled by a collective mind that builds an army of the infected. This mind has a purpose, and despite its immense influence on the world, there are those determined to uncover its identity, understand its behavior, and find a way to destroy it. This virus is inspired by something that exists in our real world and is already devastating and consuming us all. Are you sure you don't want to find out what it is? Number 8. The Nerd Spirit. In this horror story, a wave of murders begins at a school, and the only pattern the police can find is that all the victims are bullies. Security cameras reveal that these bullies see someone who doesn't show up on the footage, become overwhelmed with terror, and flee before being violently thrown into disturbing, gruesome ends. A powerful and malevolent spirit is behind it all. This school is massive, and many students begin to experience this horror. Nerds, weaker students, and even some girls start to see this spirit as a hero, creating a religion to worship it as a divine entity. But that was the worst mistake they could have made, because as pawns in a greater plan, they'll soon discover their role in a much darker agenda. Only subscribers will uncover what that plan is. Number 7. Fooling around in the cemetery. They went to fool around in the cemetery and ended up awakening a devastating evil. Drunk and walking home in the middle of the night, the two let their desires take over and abandoned all sense of decency. They sneaked into the cemetery, searching for a dark spot to indulge themselves in secret. Unfortunately, they disrespected entities that didn't take kindly to their audacity. What follows is a relentless chase that leaves the couple in utter despair. Even after leaving the cemetery and returning to their homes, they brought hordes of vengeful spirits with them, demanding retribution. And the scariest part of all? This story wasn't created by me. It's the first submission from a subscriber, part of a new feature on the channel. The author claims this happened to them, and they regret it bitterly, as it led to a catastrophic ending, an ending you'll soon get to witness. Number 6. Drained by a Succubus. Two people learned the hard way that you can't trust every pretty face, as those faces turned out to be masks hiding the true form of a sinister creature. This being used them to drain their vital energy in the most malevolent way possible, so much so that, in the middle of the act, one of them started convulsing. This video is part of the Spiritual Teachings playlist, narrating horror stories with real spiritual foundations to show you how the spiritual world works and how darkness tries to destroy you. The first video in this series is already on the channel, where I explain how real demonic possession works and how entities attempt to dominate your mind every moment. Click the card now to check out that video too. Number 5. A villain everyone knows. He committed an atrocity, and the whole world recognized his face. Police arrived at the scene where people were screaming, some from seeing charred bodies, others because their skin was still sizzling from the flames. The bar was engulfed, and yet one man remained physically unharmed, his eyes wide with terror and his mind shattered. When the officers asked who was responsible, the man answered, but his accusation seemed absurd, impossible, until they checked the security footage. There he was, walking in calmly with a flamethrower, and without any apparent motive, setting everyone ablaze while laughing hysterically. His blonde hair was flawless, his face dazzling. Brad Pitt stared into the camera with a malice never seen before, smiling as if he wanted the whole world to know it was him. Hollywood's biggest star shocks everyone as he's caught committing this heinous act. Want to understand this story? Want to see how things got to this point? Subscribe to the channel because this tale will soon be revealed in full. But tell me in the comments, what do you think is happening? Whoever gets it right will receive credit at the end of the video when it's released. Number 4. The True King of Darkness. Now we're entering the part of the list featuring our exclusive sagas. This will begin as a single video and grow into an entire saga. You'll meet Polyphemo, a figure mentioned in a spiritualist book possessing immense power in the Umbral. He commands the Legion of Dragons, beings of extreme intelligence and unmatched malevolence. Together, they devise cunning plans to lure as many souls as possible into the Umbral. In addition to a dedicated video about him, there will also be a saga inspired by a famous book, where I'll portray Polyphemo and explain his techniques for deceiving the living. This content is designed not only to entertain you, but to provide insight into the spiritual realm. Will you really miss these lessons and leave your soul to chance? Be careful, Polyphemo might already have plans for you. Subscribe now. Number 3. Urban Hunter. The Bathroom Blonde, the Sack Man, and the Boogeyman are back. In this city, a strange and unprecedented ritual takes place, bringing urban legends to life. A hunter and a sorceress join forces to uncover who is behind this, how to break the curse, and how to put an end to the madness. But to do so, they must face creatures that once only existed in the stories our parents told us. Which urban legends will appear on this channel, and what is the goal of each one? You'll find out only here. Number 2. The Support Saga. There's a world that's an absolute nightmare. Crime infects everything from the elderly to children. Serial killers emerge in droves, and countless gangs clash in front of innocent civilians. This saga is one of the most important because it's part of something even bigger. It's the first world in my multiverse that will become a book, part of a massive future project tied to this channel. Each video in this saga tells the story of a character who will become an ally to the protagonist, a true legend. And yes, Casa do Horror is just one branch of a massive tentacle filled with interconnected projects. There's so much more to come, and I'd love for you to follow this journey from the very beginning. Number 1. Angels vs. Demons. Satan has ordered all demons to descend upon Earth to claim souls and push people toward committing the worst acts. But the angels, alerted by Yahweh, have been tasked with stopping these schemes. Their mission, locate and prevent the demons' actions without directly helping humanity. Each video will explore a different part of the world, featuring specific angels and demons, and will mark the return of a character already featured on the channel, Agenor. After a life-shattering event, Agenor makes it his mission to hunt demons and destroy them one by one. If you don't know Agenor yet, He's a man deceived by Satan himself, who tried to claim the poor man's baby. The video about his story will be on the end screen for you to watch, along with 2 others. This is just a small part of a vast lineup of releases and opportunities for you, a true horror fan. It would be an honor to have you join this journey. Subscribe now and let this incredible project into your home.